Coming up on From Glory to Glory.
Spent 1/3 of his life in the palace in Egypt. He was being prepared, he was being educated, he was being trained in all these disciplines. He had the best of the tutors to teach him these things. Egypt had the best of the institutions at the time because Egypt was like America today. So in Egypt, you will get the Harvard of the time. You will get the Oxford University of the time.
As I look in the mirror, the glory of the Lord, I am changed to his likeness, from glory to glory, from power to power, from strength to strength, I will never be the same.
Hello and welcome. I'm Shini Mnisi, and you are tuned in to your favorite program, From Glory to Glory. Now, it is back to school time again, and we just had a power-packed Back to School Service 2016 right here at Butlane Christian Center. Now, the service is aimed at recognizing education as an important tool in our society. Here are the highlights.
Praise the Lord. If it wasn't for his mercy, we wouldn't be where we are. Well, this morning, my wife asked me if I want to put on the gown, and I said to her, no, I don't want to. I said I do not want to because it is too hot, and last time I checked, Tulani had not fixed the aircons. Now a tall, big, black man in a black suit and a black gown. That's a combination for disaster. But eventually, as I am sitting with her, I was convinced that I should wear the gown simply because it is a symbol of encouraging those that are coming after us. It's not uniform, ne? It's not a back-to-school uniform. It's an achievement. So, Mamfundi, I have 15 minutes. I'm going to try and squeeze everything that I have to say within 15 minutes. So I have refused to put on the, what do you call them? The belts, ne? Hope. Or the hoods. Yeah. I have refused to put them around my neck simply because there are too many. Well, excluding this preschool, primary school graduation, I have graduated about 7 times. I come from a very small town called Butlane, Delmas. I grew up in the ordinary streets with ordinary young people in Delmas. We had experiences that probably most of you are going through right now. We had ambitions and desire to become something in life, to drive that big car, to own that big house, to be something in life. And we were many when we had those dreams. Some of us have made it, others have fallen by the wayside. But we should not be deterred by those that have fallen by the wayside. We should fix our eyes on those who have made it. Because amongst you, there are those who will also make it. And some of you don't have a choice, by the way, you must make it. Because the only way of escaping poverty is when you make sure that you are properly capacitated as a person. And Kofi Annan says, those of you who remember him, the former Secretary General of the United Nations, just before Ban Ki-moon, education is a human right with immense power to transform. On its foundation rests the cornerstone of freedom, democracy, and sustainable human development. Now, this that you should be concerned about at your level is sustainable human development. Because you want to break loose from poverty. That means you would have developed as a person. Now, develop does not mean gaining weight or muscles. It means you have progressed in life, you can contribute much more positively in life. So there is wisdom to be learned from Kofi Annan. And there are many people who would have spoken on education before, how important education is. I'm not going to bother and quote those people, but I'm going to emphasize the fact that I am testimony to the fact that education is very important. There were times when you go to bed and you don't know what you are going to eat the following morning. It happened. There were times when you have one shirt and you must wash it before you sleep because it is the same shirt that you must wear the following morning. There were times where you will wait for donations for shoes from other people and you must make do with those donations. Not brand new, they would have been worn second hand. You must find a way of knowing where the shoe repairs are and doing all those things. So we are no strangers to poverty. We know what poverty is. Even though at some point, Mfundis, I concluded as I was walking the streets of a territory, Yagaslesh in Mandela, campaigning for the ANC door to door. And I saw extreme poverty and I concluded that no, actually I was not poor. There are people that are much more poor than me. So your situation might actually not be worse than many of the people that we have around. But nonetheless, we have made it. When I went to school, my mother, my father, did not know how to write their names when I set my foot at the university. Even today, Umfundisi jokes about my mother when she says, Satan uzile. She's trying to say Satanism. So Satan uzile. But one thing that she would do, she would encourage me, stick to school. She does not even know how much is the first year at the university. No. Even if you can go to her now after this conversation and say your son is well educated, she will say, I know many people are saying that, but in what? She doesn't know. That's how illiterate my mother is. But I've decided to break loose from that chain of poverty. Yes, the first of the Ngubeni is to go to the university. I am the first. No one before me has gone to the university, but I'm hoping that others will now follow and do what they have to do. So I took a conscious decision. This thing ends with me. It doesn't go beyond me. So it's a decision that you can also take. You can also take that decision. Don't wait for a tender. Don't wait for a taxi, to own a taxi. Empower yourself as a person. Because it's only when you are empowered that you'll be able to make a difference in your life. Only at that particular point in time. I'm no longer studying to get out of poverty. I'm studying for fun. I'm studying to be level-headed. because I want to see everything where I'm supposed to see it. I don't want to speak about things that I don't know and mislead society. But if you are consciously planning a break from poverty, you have to swat, finish, and clear. Then it's not by accident. It is a conscious move. I have decided I want to move from A to Z, and that is exactly where you are going to get. Now, I also promised myself that I'm going to speak about the story of Moses, because we're in the church, right? Okay. Moses was a highly educated man. Highly. Multidisciplined. He was not a professor of economics only, but economics, astrology, mathematics, you name it. Moses was everything. The Bible says he died at the age of 120 years. Right? 120 years. It says he spent 1/3 of his life in the palace in Egypt. He was being prepared, he was being educated, he was being trained in all these disciplines. He had the best of the tutors to teach him these things. Egypt had the best of the institutions at the time, because Egypt was like America today. So in Egypt, you will get the Harvard of the time. You will get the Oxford University of the time in Egypt. And the tutors there, the professors, are the ones that were teaching Moses. You can imagine, he was adopted into a palace, into a kingdom. So therefore, whomever that is hired to do work, they must be the best in whatever they do. 40 years. 40 years. 3 months, ne? Whoa. No 3 months shortcuts. I'm talking about Moses. 40 years. And the second 40 years of his life, leading to him hitting the mark of 80, he humbled himself from being in the palace. He went and became a shepherd. Why? Because he needed to learn the discipline of leadership, the discipline of caring. As Kumbule Pelu, Moses was chosen right in the womb. He was not chosen after he achieved these degrees. Right from the womb, he was chosen. That one day you will be the liberator of people of Israel. So he was being prepared. 40 years in school. 40 years in apprenticeship, what you call apprenticeship today. Moses. And he led the children of Israel out of Egypt into the promised land the next 40 years. Right? Do you get the logic? I'm saying it might not be wise for leaders not to know everything. If you aspire to lead the people and to lead them correctly, then understand the responsibility that you have got to know everything about the lives of the people. What will affect the society, you need to know. You need to be level-headed, as I say. Don't have to have spikes, be sharp one-sided, and be dumb on the other side. We don't want to see spikes. We want to see a balanced person in what you're doing. So I was requested to encourage those of you who are going back to school that there is hope and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So let me quickly start with the matriculants that have just matriculated and those that have failed. To those that have failed, it's not the end of life. In the true sense of the word, it's not the end of life. If you feel that you have capacity but you were not prepared enough, you can take a second bite. Do your matric again.
To order today's message and other sermons preached at BCC, you can call us, email us, or visit our online store. These messages are available as digital downloads and also as DVDs and CDs.
intelligence you are born with, and you can go around shining, telling people you are intelligent. Right? You know, we will see a child when they are intelligent right from the early ages. But wisdom, bagwethu, is something else. You acquire wisdom. That is why kufanele ukhule ukuthi ube wise. So maybe when umfelile umatric, mawuyomphinda kwesi2, you will be better than the one who did the first attempt. So don't be discouraged. It may take you 6 years to finish a degree, and it takes me 2 years to finish a degree, but you know better than I know. So you must understand yourself as a person who was undermined because someone else was able to. So there is a second chance. If you feel like you were not prepared, write again. Right? But reality is that there are those who are not meant to cut it insofar as academic success is concerned. Right? Bako. So you must find your path. Every man to his calling. Find your path. Maybe you are meant to be a handyman, to make things happen. Ngubeni sekaqedile ukwenza ama designs angazi nokuthi ayo implement kanjani, when you are the one that will implement those things. Maybe that's your calling. Focus on that. Follow your stream. You don't have to be everything. It's not going to happen. So all of us to our calling. And laba bawuphasile ke umatric, iseseyinde le ndlela, is just the beginning. That matric with an A, with a B, with a C, that symbols that you would have achieved, simply means that you have got to now start studying. So some of you, I am being whispered to, have passed so well that you deserve some awards, some prizes, some support. News represent and us disappoint. Singabu Island is in the Abalaini corner, Epitori, Mangutu Sepitori, Ejobek, Mangutu Sejobek, instead of this land results, and are positive for that matter. Come back and serve the community that we are supposed to serve. Education is not just about you, it's about what you will come back and contribute to the community at the end of the day.
We have, if I can please just have my students' army to come forward. Paul, please come forward, Paul. Paul Mashangu. Come back. He got 4 distinctions. I will speak about him just now, but it's in Gibize, no, not Joanna Msipa. Please come. She got 3 distinctions. Amen. Paul, sondelani ngasabi. Ngizocela ukuqala ngoJoanna. She's going to Wits University. And by the grace of God, by the grace of God, ever since I started this project, back to school, none of my students that I have awarded with registration fees have ever not gotten a bursary. None. That's how faithful God is. So I believe also that as we award Ujoanna today with the registration fee of 10,000 rands, she will get a bursary. And she will make us proud. Well done. Well done. I know she will. Upolo uzoba khona ezithombeni zonke. Suka Paul uyele. Yeah. Was again shoot. So we are rewarding hard work. Amen. Thank you, girl. You can go and sit down. I know she is with her mom. If she can please come forward for a picture. Oh, mama ba support hayo. Amen. Abanye abazi nokuthi Nkosi yami. Isikhathi sethu sesiyadleka but nje because bakhona Nkosi yami oma it's something big ukuthi babe khona bathola isithombe. She is going to make us proud, I know. Nkosi yami. Amen. Siyambonga kakhulu uNkulunkulu. Ngingahlala phansi ma siyabonga. Come Paul. Paul has a special award. Reason being, he is the star of the year. He is the Ebuhleni star of the year. This young boy would come to the center, afike abe yedwa, the whole Ebuhleni Science and Technology Center, evulelwe wonke umuntu, make kwanetha kungezi umuntu, afike yedwa. You would find him nosibusiso befunda yedwa. Every single day, lomfana from grade 10, because Ebuhleni uvulelwe from grade 10 to 12. From grade 10, he was a member of Ebuhleni and committed and always coming until grade 12. So he has thoroughly used the facility and the results showed. So we are so proud of him, and he is my star for 2015, and he's getting 10,000 rands for registration. He's going to Wits University. He's getting 10,000 rands for that, for the registration. He's getting a certificate of being the Ebuhleni star for the year, and he's also getting a laptop. You must go. Yes, you are getting a laptop. Angazi uzobamba kanjani ngoba kuningi. So I've never awarded umuntu wangayithola ibasari. So you must work hard and make sure that you apply for all the bursaries that you can apply for, because you will get it. I guarantee it. You will. If you have anything to do with me, you will get it. And laptop le akuyona ya Facebook, ne Twitter, ne Instagram, eyokufunda. Okay, so please go and make us proud, please, and come back and uma ajabule. Amen.
Wow, what a blessing. Now, sitting here today, I was once like many South African students who could not pay for their fees, now owing the varsity thousands and thousands of rands. But in one of the back-to-school services, I received a gigantic check paying for my fees from Butleng Christian Center and the Ebuhleni Foundation. What a blessing. Now, seated here with me today is Sis Hope. Sis Hope, hi.
Hi, Shini.
Sis Hope, please tell me, what did it mean to you to be part of the Back to School Service 2016?
It was a great privilege for me, Shini, to see that I belong in a house that is not only concerned about teaching us about spiritual elements, but also revealing and showing us that God does care about our academic affairs. And not only that He cares, but that He can actually anoint one to actually achieve excellent academic results. It was an inspirational service for me. There were graduates, there were students from high school, there were also primary school children that were attending the service. And there was also a guest speaker who spoke so profoundly and encouraged and inspired us that there is more, and that education is a great tool that God can use to change society, as you mentioned earlier on. I was blessed beyond measure. I still wish it could keep going on and on and on. And I'd like to encourage everyone that missed the Back to School 2016 to get a DVD or plan on attending the Back to School service next year. It is out of this world. Words cannot explain.
Now, the Bible does say that we should study to find ourselves approved. Now, Sis Hope, what do you think is the significance of education in our Christian lives?
Thank you, Shini. I think that in our Christian lives, education is very important, as it gives you access to avenues that God wants to use in order to channel us to our destinies. We have all been called for different things, and God has a special anointing for each and every one of us to allow us to get to a certain place in life. But education plays a key role in ensuring that we are equipped, that we are skilled, and we know exactly what we need to do in order to achieve our dreams. If you look at people like Moses, when God sent him to go and build the tabernacle, he spoke about artisans that would be there to help him complete the building. That shows that some of the things that we learn in our lives, some of the things that we pick up from school are very useful in the kingdom of God, and they add value. And one other key thing that we need to always remember is that we need to involve God in our studies. We need to realize that God is most probably, not even most probably, the Bible actually says God has all the wisdom in the world, the wisdom above the heavens and the wisdom beneath the heavens. So if we are to make it, we need to engage God in education and believe that God can also help us in our academic affairs.
Wow, thank you, Sis Hope. Now that was encouraging and is a blessing in our lives. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The picture is clear. It does not need cropping or editing. This is From Glory to Glory. See you again next week.
From glory to glory, from power to power, from strength to strength, I will never be